Hey there, friends. This is Duncan Crosby, and I wanted to talk to you about the coronavirus situation. We're all in the thick of this, and I understand that there are a lot of reasons to be concerned and to take appropriate precautions. And those things are all good. But there's also an opportunity here to make sure that we take some positive steps, to do productive things during the coronavirus situation so that we can improve our lives and our odds of doing well during the coronavirus crisis itself, as well as the time thereafter. We can do things that will position us well to do better in a health crisis in the future, as well as this one. So I wanted to talk about those because there's so much bad news out there. I'd like to put a positive spin on this and talk about how we can take care of ourselves and our loved ones well by taking some simple steps that make common sense all the time. But now's a great time to do it as well. First one is get calm. In a situation like this, it's easy to panic. It's easy to get stressed out. Just in our daily lives, between going to work and traffic and family and friends and all the other things that we care about and care for, we can already stress ourselves pretty highly. And then when you add on top of that a situation like this with coronavirus, that can raise our stress levels even higher. And that's a real problem when we have an immune attack, which is what the coronavirus is, right? I mean, it's a disease. We want our immune systems performing as well as possible. And a lot of these steps are aimed directly at that. This is one of them. So if we can get calm, one of the things that happens is that our cortisol levels, our stress hormone in our body, will come down. Cortisol is a wonderful hormone. It serves a useful purpose. In short bursts, it can actually help improve our immune system and be good for our bodies. It's a healthy kind of stress on our bodies. But when it's persistent and prolonged, having those elevated cortisol levels for a long time, it actually can reduce the amount of white blood cells our bodies produce. It reduces the effectiveness of our immune system, and that's a real problem. So getting calm is actually a great way to help deal with this crisis for yourself and for others. So what are some good ways to get calm? Well, one of them is turn off the news. It's easy to be a news junkie these days. There's a 24/7 news cycle. It's an election year, so there's a lot to talk about. So there's a lot to consume. And then you add coronavirus on top of that. There's so much that wants to get inside your brain. And frankly, the people who produce these things want us to be hyped up. They want us to be plugged in and stressed, so we keep following what's going next. And one of the best things you can do for yourself and your loved ones is just say no. Turn it off. Maybe check the news in the morning briefly, and then briefly in the evening, but not too close to bed. We'll talk about that in a minute. Just check in on it a couple times a day. I guarantee your employer, if you're working for somebody else, will let you know if there's something you need to know for your job. If there's a school closure or something like that, you're going to find out in plenty of time to make sure you can take appropriate action. You don't need to know second by second what's going on. Do yourself a favor for your stress level and just remove the news from your life to the greatest extent you reasonably can. Another great way to help here and to increase your mental focus is basic breathing exercises. So just sitting in a comfortable chair, sitting upright, don't slouch into it, but sit upright, put your hands on your knees, close your eyes, and just breathe slowly. Inhale for anywhere to 2 to 5 seconds, whatever you can reasonably do, and then really slow down on that exhalation. You want to take anywhere from 4 to 7 seconds or even longer if you can, just to get into a nice slow rhythm of breathing. You do that for 5 minutes to start and then work your way up to 15 or 20 minutes a day and focus mentally on nothing but your breathing. You'll find that your focus improves during the day and you are much calmer. So it's a great way to reduce stress and improve your immune system in this time of crisis. Step 2, get some sleep. Not a hard one, right? But particularly when people are already amped up around a disease situation like this, a crisis situation, it can be harder to get to sleep, especially if you've got your face, a screen up in your face, right up till you go to bed. You're gonna find it's much harder to go to sleep. So do yourself a favor, get the lights down low, turn off all the screens, put your phone away at least an hour before bedtime, preferably even longer if you possibly can. Pray, meditate, journal, do your breathing exercises in that hour beforehand so you can prepare your mind and your body for high quality sleep. Getting that sleep is really important for your immune function. So make sure you're doing that. That will help you and will also help you to stay calm knowing that you're improving your immune function by getting the rest you need. Next up, Get outside. That's exactly what I'm going to do as soon as I finish this video. Get 10 to 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes of healthy sun exposure. That's typically during midday when the UVB rays are at higher levels. That's what's going to help your skin create vitamin D, which is really important for all kinds of processes in your body, including your immune system. You'll also just feel better. Everybody enjoys getting a little sunshine, so make sure you're doing some of that. If you're going to stay out longer than 20 to 30 minutes, do make sure you apply some sunscreen after that. But while you're trying to get that vitamin D production in your skin and your body, you don't want to have the sunscreen on. For the rest of the time, you do, to make sure that you're minimizing cancer risk while you're still in the sun. Point 4, get healthy. Now, a lot of what we talked about is already that. But by this point, I mean, go ahead, that diet that you keep meaning to start, or maybe you got started on earlier this year, but it slipped a little bit. Let's get focused on that and get high quality exercise. Those will help improve your immune system. You've probably noticed in the coronavirus coverage that one of the most at-risk categories, people with diabetes. Well, what diabetes compromises your immune system. And unfortunately, a lot of the American population, because of this standard American diet, we've done things to our metabolism and bouncing around our insulin levels because we eat so much sugar. We eat as frequently as we do, and we eat as much, particularly sugar and processed foods, as we do. We've really harmed ourselves. That's why diabetes is as prevalent as it is. And a lot of us who aren't diagnosed with diabetes actually have metabolic problems anyway. We probably are in what's called insulin resistant anyway. We've done a lot of harm to our bodies in that regard. So beginning to fix that now, if you haven't already started, is going to help you as coronavirus continues to circulate. So how do you do that? Well, simple steps that whether you're a vegan or paleo or keto or carnivore, we can all agree on. You want to lose the sugar, all that added sugar. So the sodas, out the door. You want to lose processed foods to the greatest extent you can, because a lot of those, in addition to having other harmful substances, will have sugar in various forms, often kind of disguised, stuck in there. So get away from sugar, get away from processed foods generally, get away from white flour, right? There's nothing helpful in there. That's very inflammatory. It's bad for your gut. So stay away from that. You're going to want to get away from all fried foods, okay? Tasty as they might be, they are not good for your body. They're not good for your cardiovascular system. They're not good for inflammation. So you want to avoid all of those things and instead replace them with healthy whole foods. Get lots of veggies, especially leafy greens. You want to get some good fruit in there. You want to make sure, if you're an animal products consumer, that you're getting high quality meats and eggs. And if you're doing dairy, then make sure that it's high quality dairy as well. Basically, you want to get high quality, nutrient dense food in there. You want good fuel that will help support your body and your immune system. And you want to get rid of all the junk. That's a big win right there. Another thing you can do, of course, is begin time restricted feeding or eating, depending on how you like to call that, or intermittent fasting is another way that it's described, right? Just skipping some meals during the day can actually help your body. If you're not used to it already, that can be very helpful for your body and for your immune system. It will help reduce inflammation. It will help reduce insulin. It will help increase insulin sensitivity and reduce insulin resistance. So consider doing that. There are lots of great resources about how to do that well. And exercise, make sure you're getting some, right? Whether it's 20 to 30 minutes of aerobic exercise to try to get the heart rate up, but you're still breathing enough that you can talk a little bit during that. You're not getting winded. That's one kind of exercise that can be helpful for you. There's also, of course, high intensity interval training where you're getting really high, short bursts of very high intensity exercise, which, by the way, will spike your cortisol, but only for short periods, which is that kind of healthy cortisol spike that can actually help improve your immune system as your body recovers from that. And then there's resistance training, one of my favorites. That will help tremendously. First, it will help with your bone density. It will help make sure that your muscles become more insulin sensitive as they want to receive nutrients as you're training them and they need to repair themselves. And it will also mean you're just kind of burning more calories as you're sitting still as you increase muscle mass over time. It's great for mobility for older folks as well. So make sure that you're doing that in consultation with a doctor. Don't do any kind of diet or exercise plan without checking with a doctor first. I'm not a medical professional. This is just good common sense advice that you should take. It will help you, done properly, to improve your immune system during the coronavirus crisis. And finally, just get prepared. Coronavirus has reminded all of us, as do other kinds of crises that come up, that, well, we're mortal. Death is a 100% probability event. The only question is precisely when it's coming and the circumstances of it. Now, there are two kinds of reactions to that. One is a head in the sand. I'm going to pretend it doesn't exist, it won't happen, and just ignore it. But the better approach, and frankly, one that will reduce your stress levels, is just to say, yep, that's a fact. What can I do today to make sure that when my time does come, I've taken care of the people and causes I love? One of the great ways to do that is to go ahead and get your will done, right? Get other documents in place as well. A power of attorney, healthcare documents for you. So while you're alive, you can make sure that you're cared for properly when you can't do it for yourself. You should always consult an experienced attorney about these things. That's always the best course. But if you are interested in doing it online, you'll see in the video notes below some links to Law Depot documents where you can go ahead and you can have documents created quickly. I am an attorney. I am not suggesting that I'm putting my legal imprimatur on those documents. It's just a fast way to get some documents done. This is not legal advice to you. Just telling you, if that's something you want to do, those documents are available. The links that you see below, those are affiliate links, so I will receive a commission if you use them. It's not a reason not to do it, but I want to make sure that you are aware of that. And if you're a Kentucky resident and you'd like to talk to an attorney about getting a will done, possibly a trust, those other important documents, you want to get a sense of what's right for you and your family, you can absolutely talk to me. You'll also see in the video notes below a link to my calendar. So you can go ahead and just grab a time with me. I'll talk to you for free about what might make sense for you and your family. And if you like our discussion and it looks like it would make sense for us to work together, I can do documents for you that you can review for free. And you would only pay if you like what you see. But that's it. Friends, regardless, please do be sure that during this coronavirus crisis, we make the best of it. Don't let it be something that just weighs on you. Instead, make sure that you're taking positive, proactive steps to make the best of what is a bad situation so that on the other side of it, you come out stronger, healthier, able to help yourself and your loved ones even more than when we went into it. God bless you. Thanks for watching this. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.